And you know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or, I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, the land and water that I own, or my employees. They hate government. Government's a barrier to people, a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
The problem is no one knows what the Democratic Party stands for. No one knows what their policy positions are. I think that's a part of the reason why many Democrats are angry. You look at the recent data that just came out, most younger men, Republicans. People of color starting to teeter more Republicans. Younger voters writ large starting to teeter more Republicans because they look at the Democratic Party for answers and solutions for a litany of problems that they have experienced over the last 8 years. And the Democratic Party has made a lot of promises, but they haven't delivered much on many of those promises, John. So this is an opportunity for the Republican Party, I would argue, to actually offer solutions to the problems that Americans face.
They really let Michael and Scott Jennings be on the same panel. Y'all crazy as hell over there at CNN, but that's what gets the ratings. I just saw from the intro, you saw Chuck Schumer pretty much mock Americans that wanted to keep more of their money. Hell, I'm not a business owner. I'm not a millionaire. And I feel the same way. You wasn't with me in the office stressing over projects and you get a percentage of my income? Like, this is why I say, like, socialism is slavery, bro. I'm telling you. You work, they take a percentage of what you of your labor, and what? Just for them to misuse it and send it over for foreign aid, money launder it to their friends and family members in these NGOs to enrich themselves in the back door, right? You got these federal judges out here. But before I go into this, I want to focus on Chuck Schumer being confronted by The View. And many people, this story's been out for a while, but just in, Democrats lost over 300,000 registered voters nationwide last month. In a month, they lost 300,000 voters. And all these like liberal pundits, they're trying so desperately to pretend that this isn't their reality. 29% approval rating, depending on what polls you're looking at. NBC News says 27. But these pundits on CNN still want to play denialism.
Are actually excited. NBC News on Meet the Press, they reported their polling found the highest level of enthusiasm in the country going in the right direction since 2004. 20 years. So President Trump is doing exactly what he campaigned on. That's why 76% of people said, according to CBS polling, agreed with his State of the Union speech, which included a lot of independents and a lot of Democrats who were watching that speech.
Carrie.
That is why...
Carrie, my namesake, Carrie.
Yes, my fellow Carrie.
You do know what you're saying is incorrect. I don't care about the polling.
Talk to
the
NBC.
American. I don't care what NBC is saying. I can talk to the people on the streets. Are you on the streets? Are you talking
Absolutely,
to people in real life situations who have everyday jobs who are saying they're unhappy? You know very well.
Are you saying CNN polling is wrong?
No. What I'm saying is, don't do me. Don't try me today, Scotty.
We
what
put
I'm
out
saying
we
to
put
you
out a
is that
CNN
you
poll.
know
Are you
by
saying
and
our polling
large.
is wrong?
No, what I'm saying to you is that you know by and large people are not happy. This
No,
is
they're
not,
very happy. They're unhappy with Democrats.
You're happy.
They're happy with Trump.
You're happy. Democrats aren't happy. We're not happy with Democrats and the way they're handling
Let me try to
the
sort this out
situation.
real quick before we have to go to break.
A smart woman once said that you can deny reality, but you cannot deny the consequences of reality. So here's some combination of clips from the Daily Caller of Chuck Schumer trying and failing to save his face. Let's get into it.
They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
I think you caved. I think you and 9 other Democrats caved. I don't think you showed the fight that this party needs right now because you're playing with by a rule book where the other party has thrown that rule book away.
There are many fewer cuts in that bill than that would be in a shutdown.
But they
it was
still
a bad choice.
exist.
So we got to. Yes, they exist. But if you have two, if you have two choices, one bad, the other devastating. One chops off one of your fingers, the other chops off your arm.
That's right.
So I want to fight, and we are fighting. We're going to fight every day on this. Every day. Today, we're fighting them on.
So every time I look at Chuck Schumer, I think of the Penguin from Batman. But I digress, guys. That's a conversation for another video. But he's making some logical arguments. Like, if in his view, if you're a Democrat and you don't like the fact that the government is being shrunken and cutting down. And by the way, in the intro, Chuck Schumer laid out like almost a perfect ad for Republicans 2026. Democrats think that you work for them, not the other way around. Republicans, we work for you. Bruh, that's an ad right there. Where Chuck Schumer sitting here saying, you didn't build with his hands. Oh, you get your hands out of my pocket. No one likes taxes. If I told everyone they don't have to pay taxes, no one would pay taxes. Because people see, damn, this is a percentage of money I could use for my family, to feed my family, to build up my savings, to invest my money. And the government's just taking it. And then when the government takes my money, Elon Musk is exposing the fact that you're misusing my money. You're using the community's money, the government, the country's money to enrich yourselves and your families, right? And I kind of wanted to do this in a separate video, but I feel called to highlight this here because I have a separate video about the judges. But recently, Laura Loomer, less than 12 hours, I exposed Judge James Brosberg, conflict of interest with his daughter, Katie Brosberg, who works for a 501c3 called Partners for Justice that gives criminal illegals, aliens, and gang members legal advice. And here's a video, a screen video of her going through his daughter's stuff. And I think she deleted it right after. Chief Judge Brosberg blocked deportation of Trinidad gang members without disclosing the fact that his daughter works for a 501c3 called Partners for Justice. This is a conflict of interest. This is something that hurts the credibility of these Democratic judges when they come out here and try to do judicial overreach. And this has always been the calling card of the Democratic Party. And the Democrats will sit here and have the audacity to call people who support Maha, as in a cult. This is cultist behavior. You're finding any reason to justify your actions, swatting conservatives, swatting people who disagree with you, swatting people who have alternative view or alternative approach of how to solve the problems in our society. And right now, Democrats got no solutions. They got no alternative. They're not an alternative, actually. Democrats are not an alternative, and this is why they're so unpopular. All they got is political slogans, but when you look at the results of their governance, it's a failure. On one of my recent videos, I highlighted how Detroit was run by Democrats for 50 years, and it looks just as bad as it was. It looks worse than it was in the 1945. How that possible? You can get nuked and rebuild a city better than a Democrat can govern a city for 50 years. Make it make sense. But they can't want to sit here and pretend that they got something to offer the American people when no, this is a scam. These people are swindlers. They believe you work for their benefit. They tax you so they can enrich themselves and their families in the back door, so it can come trickling back down to back to them. Make that make sense. This is the most obvious form of corruption in politics. But leftists have this blind allegiance to the government. Whatever the government says, it goes, because right now they know they're in control of the government. Right now they don't trust the government right now because someone they don't like is in power. But I digress. Let's continue Chuck Schumer's attempts to save his face.
On Medicaid. Tomorrow, we're going to fight them on, the next few days on tariffs. We're going to fight them on Social Security. But I want to win and fight smart.
Yes.
Not just, I understand, we want to stick it to them.
Okay,
we're going to stick it to them and fight smart and win. By the way, Musk, Doge, Vote, they want a shutdown. They said they wanted a shutdown.
Well,
and they thought we'd play into their hands. And the Republican dream, not the Republican dream, the MAGA right-wing Republican dream of decimating the government, you know why they do it? They want tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans.
Right.
No. We want tax cuts for everybody, right? Let's stop this classism crap that the Democrats love to do, right? Because I'm starting to fall away from this stuff. How is it fair, right? I'm thinking in a like fairness, right? Would it be fair if we tax Black Americans differently than we tax white Americans? Obviously, no. But okay, because someone's rich, because someone can, you believe they should be paying more taxes than someone who makes less money than them? Make that make sense. In business, if someone find out you're rich and they decide they want to sell you a car twice the price compared to someone else who's poor, you would say that's an unfair business practice. And this is why I say that the government is an unnatural monopoly. You could come to me, and just because I make more money, you want to take more money from me than someone else. This is why I'm a big favor on principle with flat tax. Everybody pay the same thing. We shouldn't be discriminating between Americans based on their class, based on their socioeconomic status, based on their race, gender, sexual orientation. I don't believe in discrimination like that. And that's why I said progressive tax cuts is not about fairness. It's based on jealousy and envy. It's based on a political tactic because they know majority of people don't make that kind of money. And it's in human nature to get something for nothing, right? And they play into this. And then they make you fight amongst each other, and then they're using you as political pawns to maintain in power. Oh, look, we're standing up for the working class. No, you're not. 77% of people categorized as rich are Democrats. Look at the Hollywood actors. All the millionaires, what they all vote for? Democrats. Democrats love to brag about how liberals on average make more money than conservatives, but you want to sit here and tell me you're the party of the working class? Make it make sense.
They want to destroy government, give all the money to the wealthy, and get rid of any regulations that they might have. So I felt an obligation to stop. But this is a different, horrible kettle of fish. They hate the government. They want to shut down everything. I wake up 3 in the morning sometimes, so worried about the future of the country under these oligarchs.
Do you believe that the party has confidence in you to continue to serve as its leader? And as somebody who is influential in helping Biden's decision to step aside, do you think it might be time for you to?
No. I think that, my Senate caught first, you asked who's the leader. When we don't have a president, there are a lot of leaders. We have a lot of really strong talent in the Senate, in the House, in the governors. We have a great bench.
Great bench, but he can't tell you one person's name. Great bench, but they can't tell you how they're going to go into the future, lead into the future. Great bench, but they can't articulate to you why you should put them back in power. All they do is complain about what the Republicans are doing. Oh, we should shut down government. Okay, why shouldn't we shut down the Department of Education, which has given us bad results since its inception? Why shouldn't we shut that down? Would you continue paying for a service that's giving you a bad result? If you pay someone to kill pests, or like you pay a pest control service for your house, and you notice more and more and more bugs around your property, would that tell you to continue buying that pest control service or to discontinue that pest control service? And this is the same common sense argument that many Americans are opening up to, and this is what the Republican Party is presenting to the Americans. Hey, look, USAID ain't really about USAID. It's undercover for all these little political activist groups. How is this benefiting America? You're right. We should disband that. Okay, cut it down, shut it down. Look at the Department of Education. We're gonna give it back to the states because the federal government, they can't manage this stuff. Because look at the results of them managing this. Look at the money they spent on trendy cultural topics like CRT, social justice, transgenderism. Look at all this crap that they're wasting time, money, and attention to. Leave it up to the states and let them compete amongst themselves to see who can deliver the best education. And it makes sense. Because especially if you go back to the status quo, if you look at the sky, okay, look at the results of the status quo. What does that given us? What has given American? A whole lot of nothing. It's time for something new. Remember when Democrats pretend that they were the change candidate, and you realize they weren't the change candidate. They were pretending to be. Same way Gavin Newsom's pretending to be a moderate. But I digress. This party is like, don't save them. They don't want to be saved. Every attempt that people trying to do is trying to help the Democrats be better. They just brush off criticism the same way that Chuck Schumer brushed off criticism. I don't believe I need to step down, but you got people calling for AOC, Jasmine Crockett, to be the new leader of the Senate. They want AOC to run against Chuck Schumer. As much as I don't like Chuck Schumer, he makes sense. Hey, I want government. I want government control because it benefits me. Therefore, I'm not going to hand Donald Trump the ability to decide what is essential, what's not, because I'll be playing into his hands. Nobody in the View had an answer. All they had is emotionalism. And I'm being serious. I see why the Democratic Party is a genocracy right now. I see why. Because they know their youth, their young senators, their young Congress people, they know they'll screw the pooch. And I think this is why Scott Jennings joke around and say, hey, I want Jasmine Crockett as the face of the Democratic Party. I want AOC to be the leader of the Democratic Party. Because he believes that it will help them become even more unpopular. Saying a whole lot of nothing and delivering a whole lot of nothing as well. But, I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, how you feel about Chuck Schumer being confronted to his face by The View. Let me know what you guys are thoughts about some of the realities of the Democratic Party. And do you think that Republicans have a chance to further their lead in 2026? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.